Hey guys, welcome to Eat Your Veggies series. What we do in this series is we take theory and we try and give it to you in a digestible way. And when I say we, I mean me. Now, this is something that a good friend of mine, Nelson, has asked for, that I find a way to give you guys theory in a way that is simple. So I'm going to give it a shot. Today we're going to start off just by something easy by learning how to play basic chords up and down the neck. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So let's take a C major chord. How many places can you play a C major chord across the neck? Well, here's another place, and there's another place. So we're gonna do that with the entire key of C, which has 7 triad chords in it. Okay, so C major, we all know how to play this open version. We can do another version of C major right here, which is a ring finger bar chord. So what I'm doing is I'm barring the D string, the G string, and the B string with my ring finger on the 5th fret, and my index is coming over to cover the A string. I'm not using the low E string, and I'm not using the high E string, although we can cover it if you want. And I'm strumming from the A string to the B string. That's a bar chord version of a C chord. You can call it an A shape if you like, or you can call it a bar chord with an A root. There are a number of different types people use. Here's another very popular C major chord, and it's on the low E string. So we can call this one an E-type bar chord, or we can call it a major bar chord with a low E string root. And what I'm doing here is I'm barring with my index finger the entire 8th fret. Ring finger is on the 10th fret A string, pinky finger is on the 10th fret D string, middle finger is on the G string 9th fret. And we strum everything. Okay, so the next chord is a D minor chord. If you don't know how to play it, the D string is open, middle finger is the G string 2nd fret, the ring finger is the B string 3rd fret, and the index finger is the high E string 1st fret. So we can play this in a bunch of places. Here is what a D minor chord looks like on the A string. So we call this an A minor type or an A type minor chord. And my index finger is the one doing the barring from the A string down. So that's barring the 5th fret. Ring finger goes to the D string 7. Pinky goes to the G string 7. Middle finger goes to the B string 6. And we strum down from the A string. And that's another D minor chord. Here's another D minor chord. We're going to bar the 10th fret all the way down from the low E string. And we're going to cover everything. We're going to put our ring finger on the A string 12, pinky on the D string 12, and that's it. And that's another D minor. If I were to place my middle finger here on the G string 11, that would give us a D major. So just by removing that finger, we have major and minor. So D minor, D major, but right now we just need D minor. Next is an E minor chord. So E minor is super simple. We take our ring finger, put it on the D string 2nd fret, and our middle finger on the A string 2nd fret, and we strum that down. Okay, and we strum everything. Now to play an E minor, I mean, there are a few places that we can do it. We're gonna do it here on the 7th fret. It's the same bar shape that we used for D minor, just moved up by 2. And that's on the A string 7th fret is being covered from the A string down, and then our ring finger on the 9th fret D string, pinky on the 9th fret G string, middle finger on the B string 8. In this chord, we can actually use the low E string if we wanted to, but only in this chord because it's an E, and we're playing an E-type chord. If we were using this shape for D minor, we would not be able to use the low E string, okay? The other place we can do it is up here. We can do the E-type bar chord for E minor, but if you don't have a cutaway in your guitar, this is going to be very difficult to do on an acoustic, so we'll leave that one out. Okay, so F is the next one. There are a few versions of an F chord that you're probably playing already. One of the versions is probably this one, the half bar. So that's with the ring finger on the D string 3rd fret, the middle finger on the G string 2nd fret, and the index finger covering both the B and the high E string. And of course, we're not going to be using the low E string or the A string. If you're playing something like this, if you're a beginner, you might be playing something like that with the high E string open. It's important to know that that is not an F major chord. That's what's called an F major 7. Okay, so an F chord or an F major chord has to have those two covered. Here's the bar chord version of it. Okay, so this is an E-type bar chord. We've used 2 already for C and D. So that's the index finger covering the first fret all the way through, and then ring on the D string. Ring finger on the A string 3rd fret, pinky on the D string 3rd fret, middle finger on the G string 2nd fret. And if I were to remove my middle finger, we would have an F minor chord. But we don't want that, we just want F major. Here's the A-type F major. So this is the ring finger barring on 10 on the D, G, and B string, and the index finger covering 8 on the A string. We just strum there. Okay, so those are our versions for F. G. So a lot of versions of the G chord that we can do. We'll keep it to just one open one, and then we'll try and do the rest bar. So here's the open version I like to play with 4 fingers. You can do the 3-finger version where the B string's open. Here's the bar chord version of that. Okay, it's the same E-type that we had for the F chord. So just move it over, bar the entire 3rd fret, and I won't re-explain where to put the fingers because we've done this chord type a few times already. Here's the A-type version, just again, same as F, but up by 2. The ring finger is the one doing the barring, and it's covering 12, and the index finger hits the A string 10, and that's our root note. Good. Here's A minor. So A minor, the A minor open chord, hopefully you know it, but if you don't, it's the middle finger on the 2nd fret D string, ring finger on the 2nd fret G string, index finger on the 1st fret B string, and the high E string is open along with the A string, and we don't use the low E string. We'll do the bar version of it here on 5, and this is the E minor type or the E-type bar. So we're going to be covering the low E string 5th fret all the way through, ring finger on the A string 7th fret, pinky on the D string 7th fret, and that's it. Once again, if I put my middle finger down, we would have A major, but we don't want that. The other A minor is here, between 12 and 14, but once again, if you don't have a cutaway on your acoustic, it's going to be very difficult and very uncomfortable to play this chord, so we're going to leave it out. Now, those are all the usable chords in the key, and I say usable because there is one more left, and that is a B diminished chord. Okay. Now, this chord is used in some songs in styles, certain styles. So here is how a B diminished chord looks. We're going to have our index finger on the 2nd fret A string, our middle finger on the D string 3rd fret, our ring finger on the B string 3rd fret, and our pinky finger on the G string 4th fret. We strum from the A string down to the B string, and we don't use any of the low E string or the high E string. The other version of this chord we can do on the lower notes of the guitar. Oh, not there, here. So we'd be bar 7 from the low E string down, put our middle finger on 8 on the A string, ring finger on 9 on the D string, and that would allow us to strum down to only the G string. And that brings us back to C chord. So that's just one key. Can you go through any more keys like that? Can you do the key of G next? Which has 2 different chords, I think, than the key of C. Can you go through all keys and make sure that you know the placements of each bar chord and each open chord? So this is a great exercise. I know it's not that fun to do, but if you're just learning and you're a beginner or / intermediate who doesn't know all the bar chords, then this is really going to open your eyes to the rest of the guitar a lot better.